Hello and welcome to In Business, a Friday Fix episode 32. We're thrilled to welcome you to this, our bonus episode. We are your hosts, Tracy and Ian, founders of In Business, a networking and business support community. And together,
we are In Business. Every Friday we will be discussing a business-related subject with either one of our wonderful In Business networking members or a fellow business owner who'll be sharing their advice, thoughts or knowledge on a particular topic. This week we have Elaine Rotherham of Spero Solutions. Elaine wanted to utilise all of her unique experiences from her corporate background, and so Spero Solutions was created with the sole purpose of helping small businesses to ease their daily workload and provide a trusted ally that will work with you to grow your business.
Oh, and make sure you listen to the end of the show to hear our guests tell us about their favourite networking tip.
So welcome to our Friday Fix today. We have with us Elaine Rotherham of Spero Solutions.
I can edit that bit, don't worry, Elaine, that pause.
Don't worry.
Thank you, Elaine, for joining. It's good to have you with us today. Thank you for coming along.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Before we start, can we find out a little bit about what you do, Elaine? Can you tell us just a bit about what you do?
Sure. So I run a virtual assistant business. I help a variety of small business owners, consultants or entrepreneurs. And in a nutshell, I help them stay in control of their business rather than their business controlling them. So we get stuck into all sorts of daily operations and administration tasks that are essential for the business to run, but are very time consuming and not where a lot of people's passion or heart lies.
Yeah, know what you mean.
Yeah. So I bet your job's quite varied then.
It really is. No 2 days are the same, which is quite interesting about it.
Yeah.
So is it then you do all the tasks that people don't like then, Elaine? Is that what it is?
That's it. I love admin. We're kind of weird like that, me and my team. We love it. So yeah, we do a lot of the kind of repeatable, some might say mundane, we wouldn't, tasks that are very necessary, like I said, for the business to operate and run, but just not where people's skill set or strength lies.
That's right. And it's not where their time is best spent either, is it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's about knowing the value of your time for sure.
Cool.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking with you about systems and processes, aren't we?
Yes.
I imagine as a VA, you're very good at
systems and processes.
helping people to put those into place.
What tips or advice do you have to share with us out there?
Sure, yeah. I've got loads of different tips and advice. I think it's worth saying that, there's lots of different theories out there. So my theory is just one of many, and how I would approach this task. But I think the thing about systems and processes is that people have them within their business without them even realizing. So if you have a certain way of doing a task, that is a system in itself. So sometimes it's just about recognizing that, documenting it, and then streamlining where you can.
Is it something that you help with, that streamlining process?
It is. So I was a project manager in a past life. So it's something that I specialize in. What you'll find is with lots of different virtual assistants is that they've all had quite successful careers in different fields, and will specialize in specific things. And this is something that I specialize in, is systemizing businesses and helping them to grow because of a consequence of that.
Right. And do you find then that your past experience of being in project management helps you a lot with what you do? Can you look at something and say, all right, you need to do this, or have you thought of this? What is it that sort of piques your interest in something, if you like?
Well, I guess I like order and I like efficiency and I like organization. So that all helps with this task. But also I think from a project management, I can map something out from start to finish and see how that journey goes, and then be able to put in the right resources and equipment or systems in place to make sure that it flows smoothly.
Yeah. And is that necessarily a CRM system, or are there other systems that people can use?
So a system is any repeatable task within your business. So that's my definition of a system. And so, for most business owners, it could be, it'd be your accounting tasks, your lead generation, your sales conversion, your customer service, your purchasing, your training, operations, stock management, marketing. Any repeatable task that you do within your business is in fact itself a system that could be streamlined.
So what sort of processes do you go through then? Okay, Elaine, we need your help. Talk us through the journey that you would take us on if we asked you for your help. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So my first step in this process is to start by identifying your core business operations. So I went through a little bit of a list earlier. So that's your sales, your marketing, your finance, your HR, all of the core activities that happen to keep your business functioning. And then for each area, I record where you have a certain way of undertaking that task. So I map it out in a visual workflow, step-by-step guide. So, for example, at lead generation, a new email comes in. We then, we file it or we flag it. We then answer it by this time. This is what we say. And then if they haven't answered, we follow up in 3 days. So we map it out step by step. And then once we've mapped it out, we can kind of see where efficiencies can be made or resources can be created, again, like templates, checklists, any other resources that we can create to improve that particular process and stop you from doing the same job again and again, when you can create a resource to make it quicker.
Yeah.
And then at that point, also, we identify where new technologies or automations could help streamline. So you mentioned before about CRM. I think that does quite a lot of it. But there's an absolute abundance of technology available to us these days to help stop, repeatable tasks that don't necessarily need to be done by a person anymore. So I think the end goal that I always go for is to create a library of systems within your business. So then that's accessible to all your staff or any other contractors that you bring in. And then that kind of stops as much of a handover needed, or the lots and lots of questions if you've got lots and lots of questions if you've got a lot of staff, because everybody knows how a particular task needs to be done step by step from start to finish. And they also know that the standard that is expected for each task as well. So they're really, really beneficial to any business.
What's one of the biggest things that you come across that seems to be that the businesses do the most? Is there a common thread? When people come to see you, do they all suffer from the same thing? Is there something straight away that you can spot and say, oh yeah, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that? And is that a common thread throughout what you see or not? Is everyone different?
Yeah, everyone's so different to a certain extent. But I think the majority of people struggle with their inboxes, managing that. Also, saving certain filing and saving documents that get sent through via email. Also, calendar management is also quite a big challenge for a lot of people, managing that effectively. And I think communication in general, just making sure that you reply to those emails, whether that be a supplier or a customer or a lead that you haven't followed up with. So usually inboxes and diary management is the first place that we start with the majority of our clients.
Right.
And at what stage in their business would they be at? Would it be right at the very beginning, day one, or we're talking sort of a few months in when they've been doing things and trying to get a system or get something in place? When's the best time for you to step in?
I think in an ideal world, I'd love to start at day one with people. But I think with a lot of startups, resources and budget is an issue. So they do tend to start out on their own and try to do it by themselves, and feeling very stressed and working long hours. So I tend to step in with businesses that have been going for a year or so and have just realized that there's a better way to do it, and they need a little bit of help.
And is there a common type of business? Are you deal with business consultants, or is your client base varied? Does it depend what they do?
Yeah, I've got a really eclectic mix of clients actually, and it's way more eclectic than what I thought it was going to be when I first set out, because I think you always set out with an ideal person in mind.
Yeah.
And I've ended up working with an absolute range of clients across all sorts of industries. So I guess it's not about necessarily about the business that you operate in, it's how you operate in that business, and that's a universal language.
Yeah. And do you help people then to automate a lot of those tasks? Is there a lot of part of the process that you can automate? in certain instances, I think.
Definitely. I wouldn't consider myself an automation expert. It is something, because I myself regularly have to learn. I think you have to continue to learn throughout life so you're not left behind. So I'm
Yeah.
always taking new courses and, signing up to different newsletters to stay on top of things. But there's always quick fixes with automations. So yeah, I always try to recommend at least one or two, even if they're just plugins or, simple, like, adding Calendly to your calendar so people can choose, simple things like that lots of people still don't do or aren't aware
Yeah.
of, because I think
No.
technology does move so fast, it's quite easy to get left behind with it.
Yeah. We discovered Calendly
Only about
probably 6 months
6
ago.
months ago. Yeah, it's
It's a
brilliant.
godsend,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
wonderful.
Because,
Yeah, just send a link out and people can book on when they want,
rather
and it
than-
goes in your diary. And yeah,
rather than playing ping pong with emails backwards and forwards, I can do this day. Oh, but I can't do that way.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
know.
one of those things that makes like, oh, this is so much easier.
Just
mine,
makes
we're,
life
we're,
so much
we're on the
easier.
free
Yeah.
version as well, which is good because that works for us, doesn't it? For what we need it for. But
Yeah.
do you use a paid version? Do you recommend the paid version for your
I
clients?
think it depends on your needs. So for some clients, they have the free version because you only need, one or two options, and
Yeah.
for other clients, they need more, more extensive options than that. But I think the thing is with a lot of these platforms is that you can get free subscriptions and have the benefits of this technology without paying for, loads and loads of different subscriptions, because they do add up, don't they, eventually?
Yes, they do. They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
What might be your top 3 tips for employing or taking on a VA? What should people be thinking about when they're taking on a VA?
I've recently just done a blog about this, so
Oh, good.
Oh, God, yeah.
Do you want time to bring it up, or can you remember
Yeah, bring
it?
it up on your screen. We're all right. We can edit. Go on.
I should be able to remember. Sure. So my top tips would be, the first one would be to be realistic. So it's not unrealistic to expect someone to come into your business and to do absolutely everything. So like I mentioned earlier, lots of VAs specialize in different areas because of past careers. So someone might be really good at digital marketing. Somebody might have a background in accounting, so can do more of the accounting tasks. So it's about getting to know your VA and shopping around and thinking about actually what do you need help with in your business. I think is my first tip.
You can't expect your VA to know your business as well as you know your business. So they're not going to be able to
hit the ground running,
Yeah.
are they, straight away, basically?
Yeah.
You're going to need some support, aren't you, with that? Really?
Yeah, I think it's like any other member of staff that you bring on, you need to kind of put the energy in to do a handover.
Yeah.
And I think that would be my second tip, actually. Lead
Oh,
quite
sorry.
nicely into that one.
I preempted that
Sorry.
one.
No, you did well. So yeah, the second tip would be to take the time to explain your business to your VA. If you've got a business plan or a vision, share that with them and make them understand the role that they will play in trying to achieve that.
Yeah.
I think that helps. One of the many benefits of hiring a VA is once you get to know them and they have got the skill set that you think you need for your business, because they're experienced, they can hit the ground running. So I know with a lot of my clients, the stuff that I'm asked to do, I've done for years and years. I already know how to do it. So I do tend to hit the ground running once we get started.
Right.
And I think the third one would be communication. The most successful relationships that I have with my clients are the ones where we catch up on a regular basis and we talk about barriers and what's coming up next and where they might need some extra support. And yeah, that tends to work the best when we communicate regularly.
It's not going to
And
be
it makes
right.
the job twice as hard, doesn't it? It makes it difficult. It's frustration on both parts then, isn't it, I suppose? If somebody doesn't give you a proper brief, if you like, of what they want, you can't do it properly, and the person's expecting something that you can't deliver because they've not explained it properly. So it's,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, communication, I think, is the key to any good relationship,
Yeah.
isn't it?
All right, then next one. What about the one we've had the most enjoyment from? Then is the one that you've thought, wow, that's gone really well. That customer was like this, and now they're doing this. Have you had any feels?
Well, going back to topic, I think my most enjoyable task, the thing that I enjoy doing the most, is putting into place systems and processes.
Right.
I think I've got quite a systematic mind. So I love mapping out from A to B how something's going to be done, then putting it into place, testing it. Sometimes it needs a little bit of amendment once we've gone from theory to real life, and then watching it grow and watching it, do what it's meant to do, save time, make things more efficient, make things way more organized. And it's quite a satisfying thing to be part of, really. I also really enjoy being part of business growth in general. I think when people have strategies and delivering projects, seeing that through to the end and watching the benefits of that is,
it must be really satisfying, that.
It really is, yeah.
What's your biggest success?
Standout one.
You got one that you sort of really thought, I actually made such a difference to that company?
Well, actually, I work with this consultant who's got 2 businesses, and he had quite a few times where he was working with a virtual assistant. It just wasn't working out for them. They just, their personalities, their working styles just clashed a little. And then we kind of stumbled across each other, and I've just seen his business grow and develop, and we've systemized and we've made things efficient. And he's so thankful for the work that I do, and I feel valued, and it's just really nice to see the difference that it's made from working together for nearly 2 years now. So
I suppose it is nice, isn't it, when you've helped a business grow, when you've played a part in it, in effect. I suppose it's quite a nice, rewarding feeling, isn't it? It's a good thing, isn't it? If you've helped to grow that business because of what you've said or done or whatever, then that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It feels like you become part of that business. You're invested in it, and you're the number one cheerleader, egging it on all the way. And I get, like I said, I get involved in so many different businesses and industries. It's really, really lovely. It's a very fulfilling job.
And if people want to get in touch with you, Elaine, what's the best way that they can do that?
Sure. So you can head over to my website, which is sperohero.co.uk. Or you can find my email address on there. You can also find my phone number, or you can head onto Facebook and look for my group, How to Work with a VA Day to Day. And you can join us there and ask any questions.
Oh, you've also got a podcast. You do a podcast as well, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, come on.
Ian was on your podcast, wasn't he?
Podcast, yeah.
He was on my podcast, yes. Gave some great tips on networking. I do.
Is that out? Yeah, I've got to listen to that. I've not listened to it yet.
That's bad, isn't it, when you've not listened to it yet?
No, I will do. Sorry, do you want to? What is your podcast called?
My podcast is also called How to Work with a VA Day to Day, what it says on the tin. And you can find those on most of your different platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the rest.
Oh my God, good. So that's another one for our listeners to listen to.
Yeah, I've got one more question before you go.
I'll go on then.
Where did you come up with the name Spero Hero? What's
superhero?
Well, it's similar. So Spero is Latin for hope. So we like to think that we give business owners hope when they're feeling bogged down by their business and feeling hopeless. And also the brand psychology is based on the hero who likes to protect. And so the branding is like the S.
The
superhero. You're right.
You're everybody's superhero.
Yes, of course.
And then my sister, she's an artist, drew me a little caricature of me as a superhero. So then Spero Hero just kind of came from that.
Yeah.
So it was a development thing.
Very clever.
Yeah, very good. Clever. Good. I'm sorry. I thought I'd ask that. I thought I'd get that in. I meant to ask before and I forgot.
Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Elaine. It's been really, really useful, really insightful. And if people are thinking of that their business is out of control, then hopefully they'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, thanks very much. And it's been a real pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for coming along and sparing the time.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Take care, won't you?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We're almost at the end of this week's show, but before we go, we'd like to invite you along to one of our online networking events where you can meet some great business owners. The link will be in the show notes.
So thank you so much for joining us this week on In Business Talks to Friday Fix. We do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, all that we ask is that you simply tell a friend about the show, and please follow or subscribe so that you never miss an episode. We'd really appreciate it.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our books on Amazon. Our latest book is called Notably Networking, and basically this is one for all you networkers. It's for the coffee catch-ups and the business over brunch dates and all the meetings where you want to get to know someone else in business a little better. With this notebook carefully designed for your networking meetings, you'll know just where those notes are from your last catch-up. and how to follow up. You'll be consistently asking great questions to really get to know your meeting partner. And with our handy conversation starters, you'll breeze through without any awkward silences. Yes, they do happen to all of us from time to time, so please get hold of the notebook now. We've also got our 52 tips to help you improve your networking skills, again packed with information and tips for you to help you with your networking. And lastly, we have our 90 days to your success, which is a book designed to help you log all your goals, set your intentions, and hopefully achieve your goals within 90 days. Great books. Make sure you buy them.
They are. Absolutely.
But we would say that.
Yeah, we would. So until next time, this is Ian and Tracy, and together
we are in business.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.